Hello my darlings and welcome. Today I'm going to make some black salt to use in protection magic. Let's do some magical crafting. Black salt is an agent that soaks up or blocks negative energy and curses and hexes, protecting you and your home from ill intent. It's most often used in protection magic. In this video, I show a somewhat complex recipe, so I'd like to start by saying that you do not have to use every ingredient listed here. On the most basic level, you can make black salt by combining charcoal and salt. That's it. Salt is a powerful cleansing element, and charcoal is a very protective ingredient in its own right. However, if you'd like to give your black salt some extra magic, you can try adding one or more of the items in this recipe. I begin with charcoal. Charcoal has the power to banish, heal, and protect. I used an entire charcoal briquette for my salt. However, I must warn you that it takes over 2 hours for one of these to burn through completely. If you'd like to make a small batch of salt quickly, break your charcoal into smaller pieces. Charcoal is an absorbing ingredient. It will absorb negative energy, toxic or poisonous intentions, and protect your space. It absorbs everything from spells to hexes. For this reason, it's ideal for use in protection spells and wards. The first ingredient is rue. This herb is used in folk magic to break curses, hexes, and bad luck. Next is rosemary, my favorite herb. It's very protective, and because of its protective nature, rosemary is often burned to purify a room or a ritual space before magical workings. Another protective herb is mugwort. You can burn mugwort over charcoal as a divinatory and purifying incense. Probably the most common herb used to protect a home is sage. This herb is a powerful cleansing agent. Burn sage to cleanse negative energy in a room or home. In many magical traditions, frankincense is used as a purifier. You can burn this resin to cleanse a sacred space or use the essential oil to anoint an item or a space that needs to be purified. I wanted to mention some additional ingredients that you can add to your black salt. One of these items is activated charcoal. Typically, this is made from coconut shells burned at an extremely high temperature. The charcoal is then turned into capsules and used as a dietary supplement. You can add this charcoal to make your black salt a very dark black color, but be warned, it's a very messy substance. You may wish to use the charcoal in these capsules if you don't want to burn incense or a charcoal briquette. They're a great option if you can't have smoke in your home. Another item you can add are the ashes from any incense you've burned in the past. I saved a bit of mine from some stick incense I burned. However, I find that this ash is usually quite light and makes a light gray or brown salt as a result. You can also use or add gourmet black salt. This salt is used in many Indian and Asian cuisines and can be found in grocery stores or ordered online. This is sea salt mixed with activated charcoal made from coconut shells. And again, the fine powder can be very messy, so use it with care. I'm burning my charcoal in a cast iron cauldron. Please make sure to use a fire-safe vessel to burn your charcoal, herbs, or paper, and make sure the surface you set it on is not flammable as well. Make sure your charcoal is well lit so that the herbs don't snuff it out when you place them on top. First, I'm burning some mugwort. It's easy to obtain mugwort by purchasing herbal mugwort tea. This herb can be incorporated into protective spells and charms. In folk magic, hanging a bundle of mugwort near the front door prevents evil from entering. Mugwort is sometimes tied into bundles to make smudges, and it repels insects too. Next, I'm adding some rue. There are many magical uses of the rue plant. It's most commonly used by Wicca and Santeria practitioners. In Wicca, the plant is commonly used for protection. In Santeria, it's used for purification. Another use of rue is in purifying baths to rid the bather of negative influences and evil spirits. Rue can also be burned as incense, which is used to purge negative energies and purify a house. Mugwort has a subtle, sweet scent when burned, and rue has a strong, bitter smell. Rosemary smells amazing, crisp, and sharp when I add it to the charcoal. Known for protection, many witches like to plant a rosemary bush at their front door. In hedge witchery, rosemary is used as a substitute for the more exotic, and therefore more expensive, frankincense. Use rosemary anytime you want protection or to cleanse your home. Burning sage is wonderful for cleansing a room. Sage is protective and cleansing, and adding these ashes to your black salt will incorporate these elements into your mixture. Because the vibrational energies of frankincense are particularly powerful, it's good to mix it with other herbs to give them a magical boost. Frankincense drives away negative energies and evil, and it's been used throughout the ages for purification and exorcism. It's an excellent choice for protection magic. Because frankincense comes from a tree that grows in Arabia and southern Africa, it was not always easy or inexpensive to get, and rosemary was often substituted in witchcrafts in other parts of the world. As I mentioned earlier, it takes just over 2 hours to burn a charcoal briquette completely. I continued adding resin and herbs and allowing the amazing scents and smoke to waft through the room, moving into every corner, cleansing, protecting, and purifying the space. Once the charcoal is completely burned through, it's important to allow the contents of the brazier to cool completely. Please be safe with fire, and remember that a thick metal container can retain heat for some time. Once cooled, simply pour the ashes into a mortar and grind it into a powder. Then add your salt and combine it with the ashes until it turns a dark gray color. Charcoal gray, if you will. Next is where I add all of the optional ingredients I mentioned earlier. Again, these are not necessary, but can be interesting additions to add intention, or even just the darker color you may want in your salt. As you can see, the activated charcoal from the capsules and from the black sea salt is very messy. Like mine, your fingers and workspace might be ash-covered and black before this mixture is completed. Another way to add additional magic to a batch of black salt is to write your intentions out on a piece of paper. Then burn the paper and add the ashes to your salt. This is my favorite way to intensify the herbal elements added earlier. You can be very specific about your intentions during this step. I will use this black salt to protect my home. So, on my paper, I wrote, "I banish all negative energy in this place. Love and peace surround me. My home is my sanctuary." Of course, you should tailor your message to your personal preferences and intentions. Another fire safety reminder: burning paper can be tricky. Keep a fire-safe vessel nearby and be careful to control any pieces that might blow away in a breeze or fall onto something flammable like an altar cloth. Set the paper on top of the salt before you light it, or use a fire-safe tool such as the metal tongs I'm using to hold the paper, rather than something plastic. And don't use your fingers. Once you've completed your salt, you may wish to add a little additional protective magic with protective stones or crystals. I've chosen black tourmaline for protection and clear quartz to boost the tourmaline's energy. If you want to store your salt with the crystals inside it, you may wish to use a wide-mouthed jar like a small jelly jar. I've chosen a narrow-necked jar for my salt, so I will remove the stones and use a funnel to transfer the mixture from the mortar to the jar. Black salt is used to absorb negative energy, banish negative entities, and to ward against unwanted guests entering your home. It's often used to line the doorways of a home or sprinkled around the property line. You can also use black salt to ward a sacred space and to cleanse a room or a home by spreading it around a room and then sweeping or vacuuming it up later in about an hour. However you use it, I hope this video has given you some ideas on how to make black salt tailored to your needs.